Hey everybody, thanks for joining us for Live from the Knitting Wars. I'm Deplorable Knitter. We have Ann Pinkava as always, and then our gaggle of other people. We got Neil from Block Magazine.
Gaggle?
Why not? Gaggle's a
Don't
good
make
word.
them feel like we don't appreciate.
We have Tabatha from MurderKnits. Her kids must be on vacation or something that she could make it over.
Spring break.
And we have spring break. And then we have Maria, who is new to us. She is the Geeky Crochet on Instagram, right?
Yes, and yes. Twitter.
And so okay, I don't do Twitter, so cool. And tell us
Twitter
about
is
yourself.
How we met, so.
Yeah, exactly. Twitter's how we met. Ann and myself,
yeah. Ann is, she never did Twitter, and then all of a sudden she was all the time on Twitter, and so yeah, I'm not surprised.
Well, actually, that's what happened to me. I mean, a couple of years ago, I just got fed up with Facebook, and I'm like, you know what? I'm done. Everything is like so toxic. I'm going over to Twitter, and I created a completely new account. And thankfully, because you know what, I met some amazing people on Twitter. You know, if you know how to navigate, amazingly enough, yeah.
Are we on the same Twitter?
Neil has met some not very nice people on Twitter, unfortunately.
Yeah, I used to be on Twitter all the time, and now I've got an account. I've recreated an account recently, but I hardly ever go on it. I just find it, you know, it's just stressful. It's just people just argue on Twitter.
I think you need to curate your stream differently.
Depends on who you're following.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. I follow knitters, and you know what knitters are like.
Oh my gosh. It's amazing.
Do you know about knitters, or is it, I mean, you're a crocheter, so you must know about some of the stuff that goes on, right?
Well, I'm not... amazingly, I don't know that many crocheters or knitters on Twitter. I know, Anne, and I know Aleja. Obviously, I know her Amarada, and just a few others. Maybe maybe that's it. I basically, follow I have my Star Wars friends accounts. Dreaming Tabatha, who is an artist like myself. I'm like a Jill of all trades. I've done everything, and when I picked up crocheting because I had to do like gifts.
Right.
And I already cross-stitched, but that took so long. I'm like, I'm going to take forever. I need this to be done by before December. And I'm like broke. I'm like the typical starving artist. So I thought, okay, let's learn how to crochet. So I just picked up a few tutorials, and that's how I started. So
that's cool.
Basically. Yeah.
So do you have any examples of the kind of stuff you like to do?
Oh, yeah. So, actually, I post everything. I have like no Patreon account. I just love to like share stuff for everybody. So I do have some stuff left because I do sell my projects overseas. They are right here. I hope you guys see it. So I'll just pick them up as we go. So this one was the first one that the first one that I've done in character design. I don't know if you recognize her. She is Sailor Moon in princess form.
Wow. Oh, you did a bit of sewing too with the dress.
Yes. So, sort of. Because I did some
yarn is that? Sorry, I interrupted you.
What?
I was going to say, what weight of yarn do you do that with?
This one is cotton yarn, so I'm not really sure exactly. These are Peruvian stuff, so it comes in these little rolls. Very, very small, very, very thin yarn. Very bright. And then afterwards it has a wire frame inside. So I'm going to get to that in just a minute. So you can actually bend.
Amazing.
That's brilliant.
And what I love about this pattern, I don't know if you can see it. I think it's too bright. Hang on. Let me. There you go. You can actually see the fingers. What? Wow. So she actually has a thumb right there.
Oh my God, I could barely crochet thumbs on a glove.
Right?
So this was a joint work. I did the dress underneath, crocheted, and then a friend of mine who's a seamstress in Peru, because that's where I was living until recently, she did this part of the dress, and I am learning how to sew. I'm teaching myself how to sew. So that's going to be, and then everything is, hand embroidered.
Wow.
That's great. I do some of those guys, but I gotta say I'm not even close to that level of skill on it.
This guy is still in the process. This is Jack Sparrow.
Oh,
With the
cool.
poofy sleeves.
Yeah. So once he's finished, he's going to be up for sale as always, all the way down. Thing is, he was going to be Tron, but then I decided, no, let's go for Jack Sparrow. It's more known, probably. It's going to be better. And I'm not going to see my friend anymore, because I moved. So that's going to be a bit of an issue. Then we have one of my personal favorites. This is the second time that I did this one. So this is a Kelpie.
Ah.
Yes, from Celtic folklore. Because I also am a performing artist. I'm a storyteller, and I mainly, specifically, I do Celtic lore. So,
isn't that a bit cute for a Kelpie? Because didn't they eat people?
Yes, they did. This is a very, very cute Kelpie.
That's really nice.
So what I love about this one is just like the eyes. They have 3D eyes, so it just keeps following you wherever you go.
Which, if they eat people,
They're going to have to see you.
Little creepy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this one, again, is on sale. Everything is on sale. And then we have this one here. I'm going to leave the best one for last. This is a cute little bunny this is the first time I used faux fur. And her name is Bonnie, the snow bunny.
Oh.
Cute. The little bunny tail.
Exactly. It's fluffy, There's my
do some ugly cats for me.
So.
Oh, that's really cute. How difficult is it to crochet with that kind of yarn?
Oof, it is extremely difficult. I could not see anything. That's not barely. I could not see a thing. And I had to, and this is why I didn't sell this one. This one is my own. I'm going to keep this one because I messed up so many times. I mean, nobody notices it, but I probably ended up doing a lot more stitches than needed. So the head is not proportionate to the body. Of course, you don't notice it with the yeah.
Yeah, the good thing, if you can't see what you're crocheting, people aren't going to see what you've made in the end anyway, in terms of mistakes, are they?
Of course, yeah. And last but not least, I'm going to put Bonnie up here, this is my latest.
Wow.
I love the dragon so much.
That's just incredible.
Yeah.
Is that wire in the wings
Yes.
too?
Yes. So there's wire in the wing. You can actually bend it a little bit. But the whole thing is wired from the tail all the way up to the head. Goes all the way up here.
Are the wings crocheted as well, or is that
Yes,
material?
everything is crocheted except the eyes.
Wow.
Everything. So,
Oh my God, if I was a kid, I'd have been playing with that. In fact, I might still if I had one.
So this one was a little bit more difficult because I did have issues with the wings. I had to do the wings for 3 times, as in taking it out, pulling it in, stitching it again. It fell down, had to unstitch it, pull it out, insert it, etc., etc. So it also has wire in the legs, so you can move that. It's bendable, completely, and it's completely safe. This one will not eat you. Definitely. So yeah.
Wow.
These
That's
are my
just
latest
brilliant.
projects.
That's incredible.
And how many of them have you sold?
So I recently sold a blue dragon in the States. And this one is actually my second dragon that I've done. If you see all my stuff on Instagram or on Twitter and I don't have it with me, it's because it's gone. So I've, not kidding, over the course of the few years, I've sold probably 60 projects without meaning to. It started off as a necessity. It ended up as a hobby. And now, it could
That's
just go
awesome.
anywhere. So
Do you do on the faces? Do you do that? I don't know what it's called. Is it like contouring with needle and thread, where you kind of pull in and do you know what I'm talking?
embroidery,
You know what I mean?
embroidery.
Yeah, so it kind of does the shape of the faces rather than drawing the face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes,
Because you can't read that from a pattern, really, can you? You have to know what you're doing with that, don't you?
yeah. So I
Yeah.
do have a picture. If you guys don't mind pulling it up, I am very, very happy with this one that kind of turned out. I take like 1,000,000 photos. I don't know about you guys with your knitting projects, but I take 1,000 photos of each project, and then I just whip them up on my Google Photos album.
Yeah, that's something I probably should do, but there's so many things that I've made that I totally forgot about. So I'm like, oh, wow, I guess I did do that. I was like, oh, I'm wearing this.
I
I
can't pull it up any photos, but if you can, I don't know how to drop them into the thing where you can pull them up. Only Neil knows how to.
Can you, if you see where it says present at the bottom, Marie?
I will. Yeah.
Are you doing it? Hang on, let's see. It can only be a video file, a share screen, or a PowerPoint.
There it is. Okay, cool.
Wow, is that life size?
No,
Is that Sailor Moon as well?
that is Sailor Saturn. But the thing is that I'm really happy with this project because the eyes were very difficult to grasp, and because it's the famous anime. So everything is crocheted. This one is, except the big this thing here. That one is not crocheted. This one is aluminum. So I did this project with aluminum and filled it inside with cement. So yeah, each of the heads, like the hair, is placed one by one, and then this one here is embroidered. And this is the part that's really hard because if you get this wrong, you're gonna have to start the head all over again because it's really hard to take it out. So.
And how tall is that piece?
It's the same size as this one right here.
Oh wow, because it looks huge there. It's just the way you've taken the
big.
picture, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Okay.
Wow.
So
Cool.
That's impressive. Faces are so difficult, and not even in, I don't do much 3D stuff, but even in 2D, if you're doing a pattern and you're doing a face, if the eyeball is not just perfect, you're like, this whole thing looks wonky. Head done here. No.
Yeah.
Turn around. No, I've got it wrong.
Yeah, that difference between being really cute and really ugly is about a millimeter, isn't it? Just
really
1
is.
millimeter to the left or to the right, and it's all gone.
Yeah.
So
Cool. That's awesome.
I got a couple of projects in the making. One is a mysterious one that I keep on Twitter. I just keep keep guessing. And then I do have one that is Count Dooku that has been commissioned by a good friend of mine on Twitter as well. He already asked for a Saha Ventress, and now he's asked me for a Count Dooku. So I'm finishing up this one.
No idea who these are.
Yeah. Sometimes I just nod and smile, Neil, because it's obviously something that people know about, but
Anyway,
I'm not in
Doctor
that
Who. Let's talk about that. So who's Count Dooku?
Count Dooku was Christopher Lee. You remember him?
Yeah.
Okay, he played in Star Wars. Okay.
Oh right. Okay.
Starrow-man. Deplorable knitter. Sorrow-man.
She's
No.
no, sorry.
No,
You
Lord
didn't
of
watch
the
the
Rings.
Not
Yeah.
nerdy in the slightest.
I am not nerdy in the slightest.
You're
That's
Gilmore
Anne's niche.
Girls nerdy.
I'm no.
Like
Okay.
Gilmore Girls, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, like I'm like Hallmark Christmas movies and Gilmore Girls and Friends, and like that's my wheelhouse.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I'm over here like, man, let me tell you.
That's why I'm saying when Aunt, like sometimes she brought up Dalek?
A Dalek.
Was that the name? Dalek? Yeah. She brought up Dalek in our last episode. I just was like, okay.
Villain, and she's like, what? Okay.
I love the way you say it. Dalek. It's Dalek.
What is it?
Dalek.
Dalek?
So a bit like garlic, but with a D at the beginning. But it's not spelt the same, but it sounds the same.
You guys are killing me.
Sorry, Anne, you're thinking, what
See-
was he talking about?
Like, what? This is how I feel. Go away. I don't know what you're talking about.
So going back to Count
Yes,
Duckula, or whatever his name is
Yeah,
he
yeah,
the one
Duckula.
that Darth Vader does his mind thing on his neck?
No, that's Darth Vader.
No, the one
Different
Darth Vader
time
does it to him
period.
though. He's on his neck.
No,
Is
no,
that-
no. Darth Vader is like not Darth Vader at that time. So Count Dooku is an evil Sith. He does confront Anakin Skywalker at one point. But Anakin Skywalker is not Darth Vader yet. So
I've only seen the first half of the first original 3 because I've always fallen asleep during Star Wars. I just find them so boring. And I'm sorry, everyone. Sorry, I know this is going to make me a lot of enemies, but I just can't sit through a full film of it.
I have a confession to make. I've never seen any Star Wars. 0.
See, so you
Not.
and Anne, Maria, you guys are the ones on the geeky front. The
Yeah,
rest
do we
of
need
us
to
are just
split
like,
the show?
oh,
I
goodness.
don't think I know how to
Let's talk
rearrange
amongst
people on the
ourselves.
screen.
I watch murder shows and Dr. Phil, and that's it.
Dr. Phil?
Yes, I
For
love
real?
on YouTube. Yes, love Dr. Phil.
And Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Yes,
Oh,
I've seen every
I
episode
do
of Dr.
love
Bounty
Dr.
Hunter.
Bounty Hunter.
I've never
I
seen
do
that.
love
I
him.
know who he is. Well, isn't he dead?
Oh.
Oh no, it's his wife that's dead.
His
isn't
wife
it, now?
passed.
Yes,
Yeah,
But
I
man,
know. I
that
recognise
show
him,
got
but I've never
control.
seen it.
I love crappy
So-
reality TV.
Well, you were talking about Lord
Mhm.
Dooku there.
Count
Oh,
Dooku.
geez, I was gonna. Okay, Count Dooku. Sorry.
Proper.
Somebody wanted. Hey,
Oh.
Margaret. Somebody wanted a close up of her stash. So there she is, and there's all her yarn.
That's not all of it.
Now,
That-
wait, I don't know
Paradise
how to get
almost.
it back.
So tell us about Star Wars, Tabitha.
Did you like how I just ambushed you there? Hey,
Yeah,
what's up?
thanks. I don't even see
I
my
put
face
somebody in
that
the
big.
comments. Somebody in the comments was like trying to get her to let her buy some yarn.
Oh, that was Joe, my
Yeah.
friend Joe, who lives in Australia. She's always wanting to look through my. I should do a live episode where I just go through my stash, be like 10 hours long, and I'll vomit everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
because I bought
Just
too
like-
much.
Yarn haul, all of it.
Oh, that's too funny. So, are you knitting on anything today, Tabitha?
Yes.
Which
Is it my
project is
shawl? No.
No, no. This is the Veloux blanket by Geeky Knits. I am supposed to be working on Paisley's communion dress, which is right here, but it's a lace repeat, and I
Oh,
can't
that's
do it
sweet.
unless I'm like concentrating on it, and I can't do that and talk to you guys. So I'm doing a baby blanket. Our friends had their first grandbaby, so that's what I'm
Mhm.
working on.
Is that a pie? Is it one of the pie ones, or is it different? I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
it's
what the
in a
ones are called.
circle.
Are you doing that
It's-
thing where you do so many rows straight and then you increase every single row and then you do
Every
so many
other-
rows straight?
This pattern is every other row.
Ah, right. So it's not a
Cast
pie
on
one then.
like you cast on 8 stitches, and then every other row you do her increases. She has a lace pattern for the border, but I don't like that for babies, so I'm just gonna do an acorn bind off in white
Yeah.
and just be done with it.
Not to interrupt you, but is this actually a sentence?
Emperor Supreme
Add
Ruler
on
of
rolling
Arrakis.
a set.
What?
I
On
think
the
he's
Vulcan-
playing with you.
Absolutely. Arrakis is from Dune. Vulcan is from Star Trek.
I
Oh,
know
man.
Vulcan, I knew that one, but it just felt like he just put words all in a just see what can happen. Let's put words together and see what happens. I don't know.
Oh,
I
is
know
it
what a
actually
TARDIS
Pie Day?
is.
It's Pie Day
is
today.
Pie
It
Day.
is pie day.
Oh,
And you
wow.
have
Really?
your pie shawl. Not pie, but you
Wow.
got your circle shawl. Kind of counts.
Yeah.
I love when
Cool.
things like that happen.
So, Anne, what's happened since I saw you on Thursday? Anything?
I finished my mittens.
You did?
Want
Are
to
you
see
going to show them off or no?
them because they're really, really cool.
Did you do?
They-
Oh, can I? Anne, I'm gonna make you big. Don't be scared.
Oh no. Oh, this is always scary when I'm full screen. Okay. Anyways, I made these mittens for a certain squid friend of ours. So, and I can almost guarantee she won't see them, but
Oh,
awesome.
wow.
Oh my gosh.
Little
When
red
you said
eye.
you were going to
That
do
is
the
horror.
eyes, I thought,
Yeah.
oh,
And there's little-
don't. But
That
now,
is so
yeah,
horror.
that looks good.
They're awesome.
Oh.
Very
Is it
fabulous.
Cthulhu or whatever it's called?
Cthulhu. Cthulhu.
But yeah, those. But yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
no,
cool.
you guys are just making stuff up. This should not be allowed. Just saying syllables in the same breath.
sorry.
It's not.
Cthulhu just happens to be classic literature. You got to keep up here. It's been out for a
No.
bit.
I swear.
But yeah.
I'm not big on the classics. I guess maybe I should. Although, you know what? As we homeschool, I'm sure that there will be a point in our curriculum
Is it
where we will have
Lovecraft?
to do it.
It's Cthulhu, Lovecraft.
Yes.
Yeah.
That it's particular horror fiction.
They say that. Oh, horror fiction?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. What are they from?
The horror fiction or the mittens?
That's the name of it? The horror fiction?
No, it's the Cthulhu is
Yeah.
the giant evil squid monster that
Correct. And
Make
if I'm
one.
reading, where will I find it?
by an is there I know there's a collection. I'm sure they have individual titles in there, but it'll be a Cthulhu collection or a Lovecraft collection.
Yeah, I've got his collection. I've never read any of it, I have to admit.
Okay.
But I have it on a bookshelf, so I look like I'm, you know.
I thought that was where you got the pattern from, was Lovecraft's. That's what
That's what I
I
thought too. That's why I was so confused. Thank you, Tabatha. I'm glad that I am not the only one.
Yeah, the website, right? Like, no, the author. What?
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, he must want to knit that.
Anyways, I'm pretty proud of these, and I like the eyes turned out.
They're cool. They are cool.
They- Watching Batman last night, knitting my crazy squid mittens. It was a good time.
Sounds like a good time.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, Tabatha, I totally thought she was talking about she got the pattern off of Lovecraft's.
Yeah.
I didn't know what we were going. I'm so lost.
Well,
Maria's like, how did I get on this show? They don't know anything.
it's like, could you come pick me up? These people know the squid.
No. Well, you did know this little character. At least Neil did.
Yeah,
I've heard of those before.
Oh, there you go.
Totally under a rock.
I suppose, you know, they're from the British Isles, aren't they, Kelpies? So I suppose
Yes.
I had to know, really.
Yeah.
they showed up in Fantastic Beasts. So
Oh. I didn't know
That's
that.
that's why I know them then. I won't even lie.
I love
Why
Debbie.
can't we all just read Debbie McComber and get along?
I love Debbie.
I love her. I love her icon. That was so good.
What's it say? I didn't even look. Yes, it is fabulous.
Don't know who she
Awesome.
is.
Awesome.
It's Joe.
You
You,
do know.
don't know
You know who she
who,
is.
Debbie or Joe?
No, Debbie McComber. I don't know who that is.
I'm never
she's
talking
a-
to you ever again.
Neil,
What is it? No, I don't know. I don't know.
she makes novels that are chick novels, and then
The Shop on
Ah.
Blossom
Movies
Street
about 'em.
series.
Are the
What?
princesses getting married in it? The Princess
No,
Bride
it's a
kind
yarn
thing?
shop owner. I can't believe you
which
don't
was
know
the
who
last
Debbie is.
movie that we made Neil watch because he's like Princess Bride. And we're like, Neil, what's your problem?
Knit Effery, I'll say, has just gone, oh, Neil. Like, as if, so disappointed in me.
yeah, no, but they're not up your alley. They are not horror. They are not. They are happy and lovely. And tell Anne
They're
to call
best.
them. No,
Miss
this isn't.
Platonic
This
Knit.
isn't. This isn't Anne's pattern. That's the problem.
No, it is.
Mhm.
So, yeah,
Yes.
she
I
got
did
it from
find-
somebody else.
I did find a Cthulhu crocheted pattern, which was amazing. No, I almost bought it, but I'm thinking of doing something different, so I'm gonna leave that for a little bit later.
Well, and it's one of those projects too that when I saw the pattern, I'm like, I really want to make these. I
Mhm.
wouldn't necessarily wear them because it's not quite my like I know someone who would love this.
Yeah.
Have
It's
you
not
seen
Like,
the-
I made
That's
this
cool.
for me. I mean, it's for you, but it's for me because I had to make it.
Have you seen the Hydra mitts that are a little bit similar? You know, Hydra from Marvel Comics.
I haven't seen.
No.
No.
Oh,
haven't
look them
seen.
up. I think they were on Ravelry years ago. Whether they're still on there, I don't know. But I think you'd like them. They're quite cool.
That's cool.
Oh, is someone going to be sending me one of them silly books then, are they? Someone
Probably.
said.
Emily calls them marshmallow fluff fiction, some of the best kind.
Okay.
Yeah. Takes you on, you know, a ride where they like fight and then all of a sudden everybody's back together and happy. Like it's that little like and then everybody's fine
Hallmark
again.
movie of
Does
books.
nobody
Hallmark
die?
is a Hallmark movie. Hey, I forgot, but can I show you guys? I mean, I can't show you the whole thing because I'm sitting, but look I got a book stack shirt from Sweet Sequels. Oh, cool.
Oh, that's cool.
It's the homeschooling mom one. She discontinued it, so if you go try to buy it now, it's not there. But she retired it. She didn't discontinue it. There's a difference. But yeah, it's homeschooling. It's all like Charlotte Mason and classics to read to children. I don't think that the Lovecraft thing is in that book, but I'll check just in case.
Speaking of homeschooling, did everybody watch Tabitha on the
God.
homeschooling? I don't know why I watched it. I've got no kids and I've got no homeschooling.
I
thing to do, but
I
still
didn't watch
watched
it. And I
No, you
also
should.
didn't
It's
watch
good.
when Anne was on.
Yeah, watch
I'm
that one
that
as well.
friend.
Sorry, Anne, I forgot to acknowledge that. Yeah, I watched them both.
Neil, you are a better friend than I.
I am.
No shame. No shame in that.
Except to Tabitha, I've been pretty
Yeah,
tight with
rude.
Tabitha
Yeah,
recently.
he keeps canceling on her.
Yeah,
so it's,
apologies.
you know.
I'll do a public apology now. Will you forgive me?
Oh,
Would you like to sit in your discount
No.
first?
yeah, yes, you have to you can only. Oh crap! I never plugged in my phone. It's almost dead. You can only publicly apologize if you use all the correct buzzwords. Otherwise, you are
Oh
not
yes,
welcome.
I need to try better. I need to stand in my discomfort. What else? What are the other buzzwords? No, sit in my discomfort.
Right, because you know some people might not be able to stand, and then that's ableism by
is
saying
true.
that.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh.
As a black trans woman, I do not accept your apology. You must
Oh,
Well, I'm a black woman, and I don't know whether. Oh no, you do trump me as a black trans woman. You do trump
Yes.
me. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm down the ladder in the hierarchy, but
No, I was on the Coming Home podcast with Christine, and it was a lovely time. I was kind of shocked when she wanted me to do the pod because I'm not like I'm not a normal homeschool mom. I'm a cool homeschool mom. I really don't homeschool. You know,
I don't, dude, Tabitha, you and I need to get on a private call here because I don't homeschool either. I just figured out. So I remember if you guys watched our last show, I talked about how I got all these Roald Dahl books. So we started doing Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and I'm like, hey, I can make this school. And I got some worksheets and some coloring sheets, and I'm like, here, do school. Like,
Yeah.
that's about how it rolls in this house. I'm like, they're like not doing well in math, so I'm like, hey, let's change your math.
Yeah.
It's going better
I
now,
love
but they
the
can't
bit
navigate
in-
the site.
I love the bit in Tabitha's interview where she was saying about not doing the book work, but doing the killing and skinning and, and how to bury a body, for the murder. It's like these are things we need to know.
it's true.
Seriously though, my kids, I took them grocery shopping. Do you know how much they can learn grocery shopping? Oh, look at this one's $1, this one's $2, but this one has more ounces, so it's a better deal. That there's so much stuff you use in your everyday life that they don't actually learn in school.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have them do that than.
Well, when the apocalypse comes, I want to be in Oregon, and I want to, Tabitha's kids can look after me.
Where she lives. And you're like,
Yeah.
Oregon's not a good option.
Oregon.
What are you talking about? You're confused. Like, what?
I'm not
Well,
sure
Neil,
my
good luck
knitting
getting
skills
there.
will be needed with Tabitha around. It's like, ugh, no one's going to save me.
Yeah, no, she's gonna knit circles around you. You'll get one piece done, and she'll have 2 or 3 done at hers.
I can draw. I don't think they're going to want any drawings, though, are they, at that point?
No, I think that's out
Yeah,
of line.
I'm screwed.
Just find a notebook and it's caricatures from the apocalypse when you're just like, and Tabitha was mean to me today, draws a little bit.
Tip.
So, funny story. There's a squirrel tail in my freezer right now that my kids are saving so we can make
Oh my God.
keychains out of it.
So that you can do what to it?
Keychains. You put salt, you take out the bone and all the stuff, and you put salt. It cures it so it doesn't stink. And you put salt down it. And then you put it in a freezer bag. You put it in the freezer, and then like in 6 months you can attach it, and then you have like a rabbit's foot but a squirrel tail. They're really cool.
Wow.
How'd you get the squirrel tail?
We shot it.
Right. Right.
Tabatha
Was
and
it-
her family
Direct.
are like ready. They're ready for homesteading and apocalypse. They
I
do all their,
just took my my husband killed a deer this year, a really nice buck, and he put it in the compost. We have a compost pile in our backyard to go with our garden. And he goes, I was just going to put it in the garden bed, but then I thought the raccoons would get it. So he built me a compost pile, and he put the deer skull in the compost pile. That way the animals can eat it, because we mount the skulls in our living room.
Oh,
and
wow.
you can see the pry marks where the raccoons tried to break into the chicken wire to steal his skull.
What was that
So-
murderer called that used to make furniture out of the skulls and the bodies? What was he called?
There was
American-
a Nazi. Oh, well, there was a Nazi guard that did that.
Wow.
Well, the
Well,
fact
no,
that you know that is
Us.
No, but there was.
Ed Gein, that's it.
No, because didn't
Oh.
the guy from the movie who I haven't seen because I'm not into horror films, sorry. No, but it was based on the Nazi guy, right?
There's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy who used to do stuff, but that was based on. There is a guy in Texas that used to do that, but there is a guard, and I know this because my oldest is in high school in an honors class, and she's studying World War II, and we do real history where we learn about stuff that actually happened.
Oh.
And
okay.
there was the youngest Nazi guard was a woman, and she would torture the prisoners and the people, that they took in. And she would make, like, if they had tattoos or something she thought was interesting, she would take their skin and she would, like do like a hide.
Why did I watch that yesterday? Did you share it? Because I've literally watched the thing about that.
I don't know. Maybe
Because she was the wife of the commandant, wasn't she? Rather than a guard. She was his.
No, she was a guard. She was the
Oh, was
youngest
she?
guard that was executed. And when they
Wow.
executed her, she smiled. So there's your history
Whoa.
lesson for the day.
Because she used to take the
Creeper.
skin off the tattooed skin, didn't she? And then cover books with it and lampshades.
Yeah,
and
and lampshades.
Whoa.
wow. But how
That's
weird that I
insane.
did you? You must have shared it on something that
I don't.
Whoa.
Are you listening to my conversations, Neil? Do you have the FBI in your in your flat there?
Dang.
Yeah, this is the
Listening
hub
into
of the
your
FBI.
conversations specifically for TV show recommendations. It's like, I have nothing to go watch tonight. Let me listen to Tabitha for a bit. Okay.
So yeah.
Gosh,
Wow.
that's amazing. I had
Anyways,
no
not
idea
to bring
any
the
of that
chat
was going
down.
on.
So, do you drink out of animal skulls and eat dice?
You go to Tabitha's house and it's all like
No,
hides and like bone cups and silverware and stuff they've
No.
carved themselves.
I do have skulls everywhere. I have antlers. I have an elk antler there. I can't show you because they have guns on them, and I have other antlers up there.
Yeah, can't show you the other side of the bedroom because there's a body.
Oh, well. That's
Yeah,
my
there's
other
a
project.
barrel of acid in the other corner with a body in there
Oh,
as well.
speaking of acid and barrels, so to get all of the crap off of your deer skulls, you need to boil them in hydrogen peroxide, and it makes them.
Whoa.
It takes everything out after the bugs eat them. This is fantastic for homeschooling. You put it in the compost pile,
Okay.
and the bugs eat them.
Process.
And then you get a pan from. Do not use your good pots. I almost killed my husband. Not literally, because he wanted to use my good cast iron pot to boil his deer skull, and I was like, no, I will go to the thrift store and I'll buy you a special pot. So you take a cheap pot and you fill it with hydrogen peroxide, and you boil the skull, and it cures it, and then you spray it down with bleach and you hang it in your house.
Oh, cool.
So.
Nice.
I think that's cool. Thank you. I'm having a wonderful time. This is great.
It's awesome.
Also, things you didn't know.
That's
And you didn't know you needed to know.
not exactly. I didn't know I needed to know this stuff. It's great.
So if you need to hide a body and boil a skull, use hydrogen peroxide from Walmart.
I think we're
in a
gonna have to
dab
talk
What
afterwards.
percentage does it have to be?
I just got from Walmart. I don't know. Whatever you can get at the store is fine.
I'm sorry, I'm done now.
What in 10 years'
In the
time,
chat, so
when
she's
there's
getting
a
school
oh,
lessons.
sorry, Anne. Go on, Anne. Say it again.
No, I just said that Christine's in the chat.
So, Christine, did you do these kind of homeschool lessons that Tabatha's doing? Because that's not the way I homeschool, and I think I'm doing it wrong now. So, let me know. No. That's awesome. I don't even do science with my kids because my husband randomly will be like, hey, let's stay up until like 10:30 and look at the stars. And so I'm like, hey, you've got it. Let's go. Like,
Oh,
I'm
that's
not
so
doing it.
cool.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. I was
it's-
also a teacher. I was like I majored in education, in English actually, since I was living in Peru. But I always ended up doing either science or like some sort of art. And my science classes were like so amazing. I was the most popular teacher on that school. I can assure you. I'm like the cool teacher, the one that always vibes well with the kids. So we
That's
did.
cool.
You remember? I don't know if you guys remember MythBusters.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
Okay, so we did like the whole Coke. Which one blows up more with like Mentos? No, Coke or Diet Coke. So
Right.
we did the lessons like, and they learned a lot of English and they used a lot of words. We were like, everybody was so happy. And then afterwards, let's go do it. It was so much fun.
That's cool.
It was
So, are you from Peru originally, or
yes.
okay?
So I was born in Peru, but I was raised in Canada here.
okay.
And then I went back in stages. So I at the age of 14, I went to Mexico for a couple of years. That's where I learned how to read and write in Spanish. I've always talked in Spanish in my house, which is why I was able to keep the language because I left the country when I was 4. So at that age, you just absorb any other language that comes your way. So I learned English and French, and then at home I was speaking Spanish. So I went to Mexico, learned how to read and write, and then I went back to Peru. I was there for a few years. I had a stash in Italy, like 3 years in Italy, and then I went back to Peru, and now I came back here, so to Canada.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
it's awesome. It was awesome. I have to say, I really liked my life.
No, it sounds cool.
Which province are you in?
I'm in Ontario.
Ah. So is that
Yes.
French speaking or?
No, that's English speaking. So I'm right beside the people from Quebec from French. So
a little
Oh,
bit
sorry.
over.
We've just seen something in the comments.
yes,
Yeah, I'm not putting that up.
yes.
I was going to put this up, though. Next week, Neil has a skull on the wall behind him with a knitted beanie.
Oh.
Cute.
Yeah, one of them is heading that way because he's been a little bastard. So I may well have a cat skull on the wall.
Oh, you have cats?
Yeah, I've got three ugly cats.
Oh my gosh, so gorgeous! I'm such a cat lover. I melt for cats. It's like I drool for them. I cannot have them, but because of like my living circumstances. But I love cats. It's like they're my therapy.
Well, feel free to follow my Your Cats Are Ugly Instagram, and I
I
just post. Even though Anne hates them, she still follows me.
Yeah, Aunt's not a cat person.
May have made a comment about really people wants to see your cat photos, even though I'm totally a person who will put dog photos on the internet. So, hypocrisy. No, but one of the little hate comments that Neil got was your cats are ugly. And he's like, dude, who says that?
Yeah, and it was a designer who's quite well known.
Really?
Gavriella.
I used to
remember
test
that,
it
yeah.
for her.
Yes, that's
yes,
right.
I
Yeah,
remember
forgot about that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because we did that whole full circle video thing, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, God, yeah, forgot about that.
Just looking at you guys working, just provokes me to work as well, you know.
Oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm
Okay.
just.
I'm knitting.
I can't
I'm
knit
knitting
and
something
talk.
that's
Like
not
the top,
mine.
like the top, you know, 3 people
Top row.
are working. Yeah, the top row.
Yeah, Tabitha's working.
It's just me and Anne
Anne's got something,
with the
don't you?
lazy ones. Oh no, so
No.
it's just me.
No, it's just you, Neil.
Oh, just me, the lazy
I'm
one. Okay.
I have a well because my mittens are done. Man, I'm proud.
I do have a project here.
And what are you
Tell us
making?
about it, Neil.
Wait, you said it. Tell us about it, Neil.
Hey, should I make Neil's face giant? Ready, Neil?
Yes.
Ah,
What's that? Oh God, no. Oh, okay.
Show us your
Why-
What a
project.
handsome fellow.
why do you have a
Okay.
circle?
I'm making. I know. Yeah. What is that? I don't know. I'm
I
making
don't know.
a
It's the
modular
FBI.
sweater because I hate making sweaters for my size. So I'm just doing it bit by bit. This is part of the back, and this is the front. And I've shown part of this before, but so there's going to be a ribbon around the neck and so on. But this is where I quite like the way I've managed to get the chevron shapes to
That is so
start
cool.
off. So it
That
starts
is
off
pretty.
straight and it gets more and more bent. I don't know what the word is as it goes up. And what I'm going to do is, and I think I mentioned this last time, it's a bit of an experiment to see whether it's possible to create a sweater that would fit anybody, but by just adjusting the side panels. It might not work, but I think it might.
So you're size inclusive?
Maybe not. But I don't know whether I'm going to write the pattern because I think it's going to be too lengthy, you know, because it's all about picking up and all that. And I don't know whether it's something people like doing. I love picking up stitches, but I don't know anyone else who does. So it kind of like it's a pattern for me, you know.
Cool. Well, you never know. People might want it. This project I'm working on, it's the Lucky Charms beanie by
Come
Rosie
on.
Posey Knits.
Make yourself big.
Oh, okay, sorry. There's nothing to show though. It's just ribbing. Wait, how do I do it? Hey guys. So it's this is Potions yarn. Look at how pretty these colors are. But it's the Lucky Charms beanie by Rosie Posey Knits, and I don't remember why I was telling you that because you made me. Oh, I know why. Because she is the first pattern I have ever come across that has all of her color work written out in directions, like main color 5. There's also a chart, but then like if you don't want to do the chart, it's like work with main color 5 stitches and then contrast color 2 stitches. And this pattern is huge because it's got like 5 different sizes written out.
Wow.
It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
And are you doing the chart though, or are you following?
I'm gonna do the chart when it comes to it.
Yeah,
dude. I used to hate charts, and now I'm like, why would you want to have to do main color 5 and stuff? Like I can just look at the chart and know what to do.
Well, I'm kind of a bit obsessed at the moment with Japanese patterns, and I've ordered a book of Japanese patterns from Japan, and I'm going to look at them, knowing that I don't understand Japanese, and I'm going to try and work out. Because they're all just like schematics with, you know, there's no written pattern. So even for a sweater, they literally just have measurements and they'll have a tiny bit of the pattern written out. And I'm going to see if I can kind of do the same thing, but in English and make sort of pare it right down to the minimal bit of information just to see whether it works really. Because I think they're so clever. They are so clever. The only thing apparently with Japanese patterns is that they make like the tiniest sizes because they're generally quite tiny people. So, you know, so there'll be no pattern for me in any of those books, put it that way.
But
What's that?
you British colonizer. Also colonizers. You got size inclusivity to Japan.
I have to say again that as a non-colonizer, I wouldn't be in my home country if I was a colonizer. I'm indigenous. I'm an indigenous person of color.
Right. You know, I always knew you were someone special. I just couldn't put my finger on it.
Yeah, I should be at the top of the the victim tree.
Sorry, what are your pronouns?
Oh, we did this once, didn't we? What are they? I've forgotten. What are my pronouns, Tabitha? Do you remember? We did that on the show, didn't we?
I did your mom. That was my.
Wasn't it the first one we did, or was it the second one we did?
It was
I
in the
remember
very
doing that.
beginning. I don't remember what they were though.
Oh, I think mine were Sir and Master. I think.
Okay.
Even though I'm a
That sounds
black woman.
accurate.
Yes, that's nice. Mine are my lady, just so that everybody knows. Don't get confused, please. It really
So,
helps.
milady or my lady?
My lady.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Just I want to really make that clear so that nobody actually offends me. I am living in the country where everybody gets offended by everything. So.
Oh God, yeah.
But we love everybody, and we apologize for everything. Sorry.
Is it worse there than the US for real?
What?
They've
Oh
got
yeah.
Trudeau,
outrage.
come on.
Yes.
What?
I love this country. I really do. I'm in love with Canada. Canada's a gorgeous country. People are super nice. But they do, they go way beyond polite in some cases. So and that's a problem. That's an issue. And since we're politically incorrect, I can probably say this, it's that's the problem. Here, it's very much you have to be nice. And to be nice, you have to accept this. If you don't accept this, and it's, you're not nice.
I think the epitome of Canada and that is Justin Trudeau saying about people kind.
Oh, man, that
has to be everything wrapped up in one sentence.
Was that recent?
Oh, it's a few years back now, but somebody asked him a
I never
question
heard
and
it.
it was like, is mankind blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, first of all, we don't like to say that, we say people kind. And then he tried to say it was a joke after.
Now, I love everybody. I have people on both aisles. I know people on both aisles. People who are for it and people who are against it. I love them as they are. I love them as a person. The fact that I don't agree with it does not matter. Does not change the fact that you are my friend and I will be there for you. And that's a thing that people kind of don't understand sometimes. It's we don't have to agree to be friends.
Yeah, I think it's when somebody tries to make you take part in their whatever it is. It's a bit like how I feel about some religions. It's I've been very lucky with all of you religious people that I'm friends with now, is that nobody has actually said, to be part of our group, you've got to take part in some religious thing, whatever. I mean, most of that is probably because everyone's a different religion, aren't you? But, the moment someone tries to put that onto me, that's when I would get annoyed. And it's the same with things like pronouns and all that. Do what you want, call yourself anything you want, but don't expect me to do it,
Yeah.
And it's also kind of the backwards and forwards of the logic of all good people are kind to people in exactly this way. And at the flip, you're no longer a good person and therefore do not need to be treated like a good person. And then it's the sort of ultimate rudeness of behavior from people who just said they were so nice.
So
why have I got that symbol? I keep seeing it now under my chin. It's what is it?
I don't know. I don't know if it has to do with the thing that you uploaded.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. I don't know what you have uploaded.
Or is it the FBI are watching me? Well, shall we go on to that?
Yes.
So, Anne and I have been talking about the latest outrage in the crafting world, which has been the peacock dress. Now, I can't remember the name of the lady that was working on that, Anne. Do you remember her name? I've forgotten.
Kathy Hay. And
that's it, yeah.
Okay, and part of this is it's a reoccurring outrage. There has been outrage over this dress before, and now it's the final nail in the coffin that they'll probably bring it up again. It's really terrible. But
yeah, she's been working on it for, is it 12 years? 11 or 12 years. And basically it's a dress that was made in 1903 or something around, the turn of the century. Yeah, go on. Yeah, that'll be good.
It is a Houseworth gown.
There we go. Yeah, so this is designed by Worth, wasn't it, or Worths? I can't remember what he's called. And she was the she's called Lady Curzon, the lady in the picture, and she was the vicereine, I think it is, of India, which at the time was sort of the highest whatever they call it, highest title a woman could have in the British Raj. So basically, she was a colonizer, and she had this dress made, and it was made by Indian craftspeople. So they were employed; they weren't slave laborers, and it's a pretty stunning piece of craft.
Oh,
You know, whether you like the style,
it's gorgeous. Actually, I see no problem.
Yeah, well, the problem is this lady, a white lady, she decided she was going to recreate the dress, and she's been working on this project for 12 years.
Okay.
And I think so
And
far it's cost
also-
her £6,000, I think, or £6,000.
Okay, so her talking about this project that she had done. So this dress, and the dress had actually been remade over, I believe, for the lady's daughter, if I don't remember. But okay, so part of the reporting when this came out, and part of the reason why this dress is so evil, is that this was the peacock dress in the peacock throne room in India for this huge British event, and it's celebrating kind of the glories of India. Even it's under British rule, but you're showing this off, and it is gold thread absolutely throughout. And all of the reports of this gown was that it was that she looked a dream, that the way that she glittered as she moved was just so impressive to everybody. But also because it's so much gold thread, that the gold thread kind of tarnished. So part of her recreating it is that dress cannot be seen in its full glory now. You see it now, and it's older, and it's still impressive. It's still, dazzling. But to recreate that dress would be to kind of bring back the full glory of it, because the thread will be new. It'll be shinier. We can do coatings now so it doesn't tarnish. That the only way that this gown can be properly achieved is to recreate it. Anyways, yes, the other hand up.
So, I didn't want to interrupt you, but can I just say, before I was Deplorable Knitter, I used to custom make wedding gowns with my mother, right? And there were wedding dresses that took us maybe 6 months to do all the handwork on. I cannot imagine working for 12 years on a project and then rolling over when somebody said that I offended them. Dude, do you know how much freaking blood, sweat, and tears is, honest to God, in her recreation? I can tell you, I used to be a seamstress. So, and yeah, it sucks that they did it, but also she's got issues too if she just let them be mad at her for it.
Well, it's true. It's also,
sorry.
Personally embroidered part of it, but part of her talking about the process is, kind of realizing that if she wants a $10,000 dress or a 10,000 pound dress, she's going to have to put 10,000 pounds into it. It's like, okay, so me physically stitching all of this may not be achievable. I have to look into, it's like, okay, so are we going back to India? Are we going to do original craftsman? And she was talking to people in India about recreating this dress that was originally made in India specifically, and all of these different things. But I don't okay, so some Indian professor got angry, and that is the final groveling apology. Beforehand, she had said, okay, fine. I understand people are upset, but I'm still doing it. And now she's like, okay, I'm shelving the dress. It's not going to happen. Whatever. But I don't know, that to have something that she's dreamed about for years and tried to achieve for years, and just that sense of adventure too, no, wait, I can make it. You don't just have to dream about your ball gown. You can sit down and you're like, if I wanted enough, I can get there. And to have that shelved for some Instagram controversy is...
Well, I mean, she shouldn't have rolled over. That's the end of it.
But but she's as woke as the rest of them are. So
then she gets what she deserves.
Yeah.
Oh, ouch.
But honestly, also, I kind of want to know what she's been doing for 12 years, because like, is she got another thing she does, like works full time, and then this is just her side
I think
project?
so,
Or
yeah.
okay.
I think so.
Because I was gonna say, if she's working on this for 12 years, there's also an issue there in general. Because
Somebody in the comments just said Tabitha would have done it in 2 months.
Tabatha, how's your embroidery? You good at that, or you
I
gotta
do
get working on it?
embroider, but I'm not very good at it. I could knit it.
Well,
I
in
don't
that
think it would be
case,
the same.
can we go back to the slideshow a second? So-
If it's still there, okay, yep.
So because it has now become banned, so if you look on the right-hand side, I was looking at this sort of detail. So the dress is made up of these sort of this motif that is repeated over and over. So then if you click on the slideshow to go on to the next slide.
I don't see a next slide, Neil.
Just press anywhere on the slide and it should go on to the next one.
Nope. I have one piece.
It's me that has to do it.
Okay, cool.
I'm just giving orders, and so I've created a knitted sort of pastiche, if that's the right word of it. So this is a cowl which will recreate the peacock feather, and if you look at the top here, the bit that looks like two eyes at the moment, that's a circular cable, and then in the middle is a bobble, which is where you would have the blue-green bit. But if you did want to knit this, you don't have to do the bobble. You could just miss that out completely. So that's one version of it. This is a second version, which will be a little bit easier to knit, but this is knitted sideways. So most of the pattern is made by rows of purl stitches. And again, it's got the same motif with the circle and the because on the original dress, the blue-green bits, which look like gems, are actually beetle wings.
Wow.
So so this is like, if you knitted this would be an opportunity where you could have, you know, any pops of bright color that you've got left over, you know, just a tiny little bit, and just keep changing it maybe. And then the final thing that I'm working on, which I'm not 100% happy with, but I'm working on a mitten, which again is based on the same motif, but because of the size difference, I couldn't quite get it to fit, so I've had to change it a little bit. I'm not 100% happy with it, but I'm still working on it. And what I'm looking for at the moment, so if anyone watching is interested, I am hoping somebody will want to test knit it. So the mitten is fingering weight, but the others, the cowls, could be done in DK or Aran or worsted weight. I wouldn't do the cowl in fingering weight because I think it'd be too small, and then you're going to have to do a repeat again. And it's the problem with it is that the repeat, that is the repeat. So that's as small as I could get it, because I wasn't able to find a way of doing the repeat without it interfering with the pattern, you know, of the circular bits there. It's hard to explain, but so it is a long repeat. But I think if you're good at doing cables, I think you'd find that quite easy.
So this chart right here that's on the screen, this is not fingering weight.
This one isn't fingering weight, no. So it would probably be quite a tall cowl, but it probably be, you know, about this wide and about that tall. So it
How
would,
many? Are you sure you don't
ask...
want this one to be in fingering weight and the other one that's knit like kind of the different to be DK? Because if you do this in DK, it's going to be huge.
It is going to be huge.
Well,
how many rows is it, Neil?
Oh, how many rows? I think it's 179 stitches wide.
Okay.
And I think it's 80 stitches high. I think, off the top of my head. I can't zoom in, unfortunately, to check it.
It could be.
It could be repeated and be like a rectangular shawl.
If you did it one time in DK weight, 80 something stitches, I think that would be like it'd be like around 8 or 9 inches tall is my guess.
Yeah, which I think would be okay.
Width though, 179 stitches around in DK weight, that's huge.
It wouldn't be too.
Bear in mind, I'm a very tight knitter, so.
I mean, you would have, if you doubled it, it would be pretty big. But if 179 in DK weight just once.
Well, I'm just thinking a hat. If I do a hat in DK weight, 120 stitches is what I would take for a hat in DK weight. And you have a
huge head.
True.
It is true, yes. What is it? The head and ego the size of a small planet, wasn't it? As someone said. So that's what I was kind of basing it on. I was thinking if it's 130 stitches or 120 stitches to 130 for a hat for me, 170 or whatever it is going to be able to get over your head easily. But but it could be huge. I don't know, because some cowls are huge, aren't they? But so it's just if anyone wants to test it. So
what's your
that's
time frame on it? Like, when do you want to have it in?
Well, does that mean anything to you, Tabitha?
Yes, it does.
Well, I'm not putting it in the next issue because the next issue it won't be ready in time for that. But probably issue 9, which will be what are we in now? So 2 months from now, basically. So about 2 months. But there's two versions of it, so it doesn't matter which version you use. Oh no, it's fine.
Okay.
No, it's fine.
Fine.
So basically, I've created a Discord site as well for anybody who wants to do pattern testing. And it isn't just my patterns. If anybody else has a pattern that you've written and you need a tester, we can post it on the Discord channel. And then people, brilliant. So I think I've added you, DK, to the Discord, but I don't think you've joined us yet.
No.
I don't know whether... I tried to then. I don't know what I did wrong, but I thought I'd tried to. I think, Tabitha,
okay.
you're on it, aren't you? I think.
Well, I don't think you can add me to it. I don't think so. I had somebody from your magazine email me to be a tester for him.
Right.
And so I did that hat real fast.
Right, yeah.
But I'm not on a Discord. I don't think I'm on Discord at all.
Well, that's the reason. I think you need to join Discord and then you'll get the invite.
Okay.
Okay.
So in the comments, there's people saying, I'll test it in Lays, add me.
Wow.
Guys, if you want to help Neil or be added to his Discord, message him at Blocked Mag?
If you see my Instagram account on the screen there, you can message me on Instagram if you want. That's probably the easiest.
Yeah, but if they're not on Instagram, how about email?
blockedmagazine@gmail.com is probably the easiest one. Somebody's asking what's Discord. It's just another
it's another platform.
But it's actually a bit more private because I'm going to be taking the testers out of the magazine because they've been the bad guys have been using that list of testers for nefarious reasons. So I've decided we're taking that out now, and it's going to be a better system anyway, because the way that it was is somebody had to go down the list and just randomly pick someone to choose, to do a test knit. Whereas now everybody that's on the Test Knitters website will see the invite to do a test, and you can then choose to do it or not. So you've got more chance of actually getting to do a test, if that makes sense. So Tabitha's going to be all over that one, aren't you, Tabitha?
Tabitha doesn't need any more projects. What are you talking about? But she'll still be in there getting tests, won't you?
I did the last one for his name's Callum, and it's going to be it's the hat for the next. I don't know if it's the upcoming Blocked magazine or if it's in a different one.
It was going to be in this issue, but I've decided that we're going to postpone because we've only had 3 patterns submitted for this issue, and I thought, well, what we can do is put them in the next issue with the patterns that I'm writing if we can get testers for it. And I know by then there will be more patterns in there, so I think I'd rather have a few.
Will that be after Easter?
When's Easter? April, is it?
April 9th.
April something.
2 months, basically 2 months from now, whenever. So what will that be?
I have to get this communion dress done for Easter.
Oh wow!
So.
That's not as important as my magazine.
Oh no!
She can get
communion dress,
anytime.
Well, she better get it done because all right. I'm not did this for nothing. Oh. She better pass.
Yeah, Maria's got to run. So thanks for coming. It was fun.
Thank you so much. Oh. Yeah, it was fun. I'm sorry. I got some other things packed into the day Tuesday. This Tuesday, specifically, it's my brother's birthday. I got some other things.
Can't hear what you're saying. Sorry.
Something's up with your.
Sorry.
Here we go. So today is actually my brother's birthday. So, and afterwards I got some things packed up. So this specific Tuesday is like really jammed. So.
Well,
Unfortunately,
hopefully you can come
I
on
have-
another one.
You should have told me to shut up, Marie, and then I'd have just waited and done all my bit after. Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all
Hey,
good.
Before you go, quick plug your stuff. I know you also have a podcast you didn't mention.
Yeah.
Unlock Lore.
Yeah, that's the ULL thing right there, unlocking lore. So as I said before, I am a performing artist. I do storytelling, mainly Celtic lore, which I love to the deepest, centers of my bone. So I do have a podcast. I have a live stream, which is kind of dormant right now, but you can definitely listen to stories if you're knitting or if you're doing some sort of manual thing and just listen to stories. It's amazing. That's Unlocking Lore. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on YouTube. And the rest is just the Geeky Crochet because I put the geek in the crochet. So
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing all your stuff with us, and hopefully we can do this again. So,
yeah, absolutely.
cool.
You
Thanks.
know where to find me. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody. Bye, chat.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, DK, you should have told me to shut up.
No, it's okay. It is what
Tabitha,
it is. We're
you're
talking.
just talking too much. You're hogging the limelight there.
Tabitha's always so chatty. I mean, how can we even do anything? Why? Yeah.
I mean, well, if it's murder or skulls or whatever, but other than that, I got nothing.
Oh, have you got an update on the what's she called? McCann girl, Madeline McCann.
Julia has submitted her DNA test into like 3 different things, but it's not testing it compared to Kate and Jerry, and it's not testing it against her parents. She's going to do it to see if she has English heritage. So she's putting it in 23andMe. And then if she has English heritage, she's going to then move it a step further. And I'm like, well, she's from Europe. So I bet you donuts to dollars she has English heritage. She's white and she lives in Poland.
And Jerry is Scottish. So he's not even English. I don't know where. She's from Liverpool, isn't she, I think? And they're not English. No, they are.
I don't understand why. Because Jerry and Kate agreed to do a DNA test. They didn't think it was her because they allegedly killed their kids or killed her.
They know exactly where she is.
Allegedly. But they agreed to the DNA test. So I don't know why they didn't just do that. But Julia wants her parents to submit to a DNA test, and her parents to say, no, we're not going to do that, which makes no sense in my book.
Yeah.
A lot of people, some people in the article are thinking that she was human trafficked because there is a pretty large human trafficking ring over in that area. And she was abused by a German pedophile. So those are true things. So she may not be part of her, she may not really be from her parents, but to say that she's Madeline McCann, I think is pretty far-fetched. But now if she is, I'm going to give my whole stash away.
Joe is in the comments like, yes.
Yeah, everyone's praying now, aren't they? Please be Madeline. Please be Madeline.
So.
Yeah, I don't think it's her. I don't think she even remotely looks anything like her. Even the eye thing doesn't look the same. It's a different kind of look.
I don't think it's her. I mean, I don't know. The eye thing is rare, but more people have eye things like that than not. My dad had one blue eye and one green eye. It's fairly common to have eye discrepancies or eye things, It could have been from an injury that she had, not necessarily something she was born with. I know a lady who had a marker poked her in the eye, and it deformed the black part of her eye, so it looks differently.
That's what happened to David Bowie, wasn't it? That was an accident that happened to him that made his eyes different.
It was a fist fight, wasn't it?
Something, yeah. It was definitely through an injury, wasn't it? He wasn't born like that. But I don't think your eyes change that much, though, do they? Because if you look at Madeline McCann, the shape of it, it's more like it's almost like a teardrop of the iris, the black bit, the pupil. It's all one piece. Whereas the thing I've seen of this other woman, it's more like a dot of its own, and it isn't connected to the pupil.
some people say that they can fade, like your eye colors can fade and do weird things. I haven't seen that. Unless she got another injury and it messed it up, I don't see the eye changing the shape, like where the colors are. I know the colors can fade, but I don't think they can like move.
So guilty or not guilty? Oh, speaking of which, what's happening? You mentioned earlier before we went live about Kate and William.
You mentioned
Yes, me. It wasn't me.
We're like, what?
No, Tabatha mentioned it.
I mentioned it because Neil lives over there, and I want to know what he thinks. Are they getting a divorce?
I don't think they'll ever get a divorce. I really don't. I don't think they're together anymore. But I don't think they've been together for a very long time. I actually thought before Harry met Meghan, I actually thought by their body language that Harry was with Kate, behind the scenes, because they seem to have a much better body language together than William ever did. For William, allegedly, he's been having an affair with, was it Rose? I forgot her name. You reminded me. Somebody called Rose for years and years. But I think Kate, she plays the role very well. She knows what the job is. And I think she will just do the job whether he's with Rose or not. I don't think she will divorce him. Whether he'll try and divorce her is another matter. Or behead her or whatever. Who knows?
I don't see the royal family giving her up.
She's the
like,
asset.
She's Diana 2.0.
Yeah. Well, I think she's better than Diana in the sense that she's not flaky. Diana was a flake, if that's the right word, I don't know.
That Diana 2.0 is like mega Diana 2.0, frankly. But not as good as Diana, but Meghan is trying for the Diana role, and Kate is more like she's more like the queen, I think, in the sense of, hi, I'm here, I'm taking the flower, I'm smiling, I don't say much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lori says that they were dating other people where they were engaged, weren't they?
Well, they split up a few times, I believe, before, but I don't know. It's not like they live next door. You know what I mean?
Well, Neil, you should know more. I mean, what are you doing?
Well, you should ask Anne. Anne knows far more about my country than I do.
England's like this big. You must be able to like walk out your door to the palace, right? That's like how it is, isn't it?
Yeah. When I look out of my window, yeah.
You can look in their backyard, right?
Yeah. Scotland I can see from the left, and the other side I can see London and everybody in London. Yeah.
All things far away must be close together. They just.
Adam's there laughing. He understands. He knows. But speaking about not being able to see everywhere in the country, I saw a thing the other day where I think it was 25% of Americans don't know where America is on a map. I just wondered. So that must mean, if there was a fourth American here, one of you wouldn't know where America was.
Well, I think that our group probably brings that number up. We're not.
I don't think DK knows where America is.
As I was telling them before this started, one of the things we do when we do history is we get the globe down, and we don't just look at where America is. We look at whatever history we're talking about. We are pointing at the countries. The other day we were talking about Portugal because we were learning about the evil, horrible Christopher Columbus. And so we were looking at where Portugal was and how small it is.
And where Madeleine McCann disappeared.
It all comes together. All full circle, man. No. I mean, my kids, they still get confused. Like, we went to Florida and my little one said, "Are we back in America now?" And I said, "We never left America. We just left our state." Like, but
well, do you know Adele?
I don't think that they're counting 7-year-olds in that, are they? So
no. Well, the singer Adele.
Yeah.
She was on a TV show when she was sort of first starting out, so this few years back now, and she made this. She actually thought that England, the entirety of England, was inside London. What? And she was being interviewed, and she said, "Well, that isn't, that's not in London. It's like, no, London's in England. And she didn't know. She honestly didn't know.
How can you not know? See, that stuff boggles my mind.
Somebody's
You're
asked
making
me.
fun of us.
Oh, this is what we've talked about before, DK. Does Neil have vinegar on his chips or gravy? I prefer salt and vinegar, but I will have gravy on my chips occasionally. But I prefer salt and vinegar.
Do you have to have
Heard
something
it here
on them?
first, folks.
Sorry, what was that?
Do you have to have something on them, or can you just eat them?
What, you don't put
Plain.
salt on your chips?
Well,
They'd
salt,
be very
but not
bland.
vinegar.
You need vinegar. You have to have vinegar.
No, thanks. I'm good.
You need to try it. Try salt and vinegar on your fries, whatever you call them.
They have ketchup over here.
Your toothpicks.
They're not that thin.
Sometimes ranch dressing, if we're in the middle,
Ooh,
which I am.
I do like ranch dressing with them.
On your
Delicious.
chips.
Yes.
We're talking about the same chips, aren't we now? We're talking about English chips, not American
Or
chips, yeah?
English chips as in potato wedges.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
As
Yes.
opposed to the thinly sliced, crispy, your crisps.
Crisps.
Yeah, where we have salt and vinegar crisps.
I like salt and vinegar crisps, but I don't want to put that on my French fries.
When you ever come over here, I'm going to teach you about food.
So
If you go to
Lisa's
Five Guys, they have malt vinegar.
so French fries, yes, but also
Kind
no,
of.
because he says that they're thicker. They're more like a potato wedge or like a steak fry. They're a little like softer inside and not like so French fry-y. Neil and I have had a lot of conversations about French fries.
So like a Mojo's.
I don't know what a
Potato
mojo is.
Oh, they're potato wedges.
Mojo's here. Actually, Mojo's are tiny little chewy sweets. I think they're black. Are they black Mojos? I think they're called. No, well, wedges are much thicker.
Okay. I don't know what's going on. Senko Farms is saying ranch with ketchup, and now I don't think we can be friends anymore. So.
That's actually really good. Ask
What's
Gabe.
Old Bay? Somebody said vinegar and Old Bay. What's that?
Old Bay's a seasoning.
Mhm.
Oh, all right, okay. Is that it must be an American thing, that I don't know.
I don't know what it is either. Maybe it's a regional thing because I'm new. I have no idea. Almost certain sodas. I don't know. Germans use vinegar too with salt and black pepper.
Yeah, it's the thing.
I mean, like my mother-in-law puts vinegar on her French fries. I just don't do it. I think it's gross. So.
Do you not like vinegar
okay.
though? Are you generally adverse to vinegar?
You know, mostly. I started eating salt and vinegar chips when I was pregnant with my first kid, and that's when I ate the most of them in my whole life. So probably it's a me thing and not that vinegar's bad. So I'll still eat them occasionally, but man, when I was pregnant with that first one, I could not get enough of them. It's fantastic.
Oh, Anne, I bought this book with you in mind.
Oh, yes.
50p, which is, what, is that 60 cents, is it? 50p?
I have no idea.
So I got it from a charity shop, and it's an 80s Intarsia book. And when I saw it, I thought, Anne is going to love this.
Can you please say Intarsia again?
What did I say?
Say it.
I can't say. I can't even think I'd say Intarsia. Is that what I said, or did I say it differently?
What you said.
That's it.
Why? What have I said it wrong? How is it?
No, it's fine. It's just I like the way you pronounce.
Like
Intarsia. How do you say it?
Intarsia.
Oh, Intarsia. Oh.
You make everything sound so much fancier. Everything we say is like all nasal and like.
No, I was thinking you say it more fancy. I was like Intarsia. That's me.
Adam thought it was a Pink Floyd record for a minute.
So let me find a picture here for Anne. Let's see, which one do I think Anne would look good in? How about this?
Oh, good golly.
Hold on. Before we get into that, can somebody tell me what this means?
Oh yeah, a fat chip butter. Yeah.
That sounds like somebody just did that sentence thing again, where they just said words and pretended it meant something.
Do you know what? Do you not know what a butty is?
No.
Okay, it's what you trad wives make for your husbands.
A sandwich?
It's a sandwich.
I'm gonna call them that from now on. Fat chip buddy.
Yeah, so we have chip
I
butties,
like
we have
that you
jam
just referred
butties.
to all of us as trad wives, like it's like we.
Oh,
and
I was called a trad wife the other day.
yeah, true story.
It's like, what? Don't you have to be married to be a trad wife?
That's what
I mean,
thought.
there's
but
also the
apparently-
you have to be a woman thing.
Yeah, and you're a trad wife and not married as well.
it's crazy. But as she said, it's not just a woman thing anymore. Apparently.
Well, then again, I keep forgetting I am a black woman, so
Well,
black women can be
guys,
trad wives.
It can't be just a woman thing because nobody knows what a woman is anyway. So I guess everybody's a trad wife now. So whatever.
Unless you're a
Although I
biologist or whatever it is.
I think Tabatha's the only one here who's truly a trad wife. I pretend, but I don't know if I qualify.
I don't even know if I would consider myself a true trad wife, but we have traditional roles, but that's about it.
Yeah.
How many
I
of them
take care of the family and stuff, you know.
are
I do.
I didn't hear you.
I can use more help around the house. You can
Oh, how's this? You know, you have double denim. How about double knitwear? So that's a cardigan over the top of a waist jacket.
He looks really enthusiastic about it too.
Yeah.
They've all
Oh
got
my
that
gosh.
80s moody look going on.
True story.
But yeah, so I thought for 50p, this was a bit of a bargain, even though I wouldn't probably knit any of them. Although there is one pattern that I think I might adapt because I like the way it's knitted, and it's I can't find it now, but I'll see if I can find it when I flick through. I'll show it you.
Okay, Neil, there's a question for you in the comments.
Oh, okay. Yeah, most of us like a bit of spotted dick. I have to say, it's just a pudding. It's just a sponge pudding with like raisins, sultanas, whatever you call them in it. So and then you have it with
Sultanas?
custard. What did I say? Oh, you got. Oh, here's
Everything's
what.
so fancy.
Right.
No, I think it's I'm common. I'm.
I'm common. Oh my god. Okay.
Also, maybe should say that pudding is more of a cake bread-like structure and not like what we think.
Oh, so what do you think is a pudding then? What's an
Okay.
American pudding?
Oh, sorry. Pudding, I believe in England is more of a general term for all desserts. When in America, it's very specific. It's like custard but thicker.
Oh, right. Oh yeah, because we can have meat puddings as well. So we have a meat pudding and we have cake puddings and we have anything that you would have after your main meal is often called a pudding.
Okay. Gross. My children are having an emergency, so I'll be back in a minute, guys. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
What should we talk about now? Let's talk about DK. No.
She'll never go back and see. We're safe here. No, but yeah, it's a really cool book with all the different wild 80s sweater patterns and stuff.
Well, yeah. If there's I'll send you the pictures, and if there's any you like, I'll send you the details because I thought the fact that it's 50p, I can't imagine anyone's going to be worried about me sharing it with one person.
Right.
Oh,
And they're like, oh no, I'm sharing the ugliest 80s sweater pattern I've ever seen. I'm like, oh yeah.
which I'm sure you'll probably never actually knit, but
Probably. I mean, like, there's a lot of, in the quote, bonkers sweaters, that there's a lot of really clever things going on, but then in the end of the day, you're like, that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for a lot of crazy.
Well, the thing about the 80s, I just think, God, were they all rich? To have that amount of yarn in a sweater, it's like double, isn't it? The sleeves are bigger than the sweater themselves, Well, if Madeleine McCann is that girl, not only have you got to do that, you've got to knit an 80s sweater as well. How's
fine.
that?
That's fine.
With new bought yarn, because you have to give all the rest of your stuff away.
Yeah.
Well, I know. I think yarn was probably cheaper back then. I don't know. I wasn't there, but probably cheaper back then.
Well,
Speaking,
zero hand-dyed yarn, so I imagine it's all commercial.
Yeah, I don't think anybody knitted with hand dyed in the 80s, did they? Certainly not here.
Was it even a thing in the 80s? I don't think it was.
I don't know.
But-
I think people used to think it was like weird, you know, because it's not standard, you know, and it's not all uniform. I think anything that was kind of washed out, they would have thought was, you know, faulty in some way. You know, they wouldn't wanted to knit with it. But any acquisitions?
Most of the show-off skills are, look at me, I could make this ridiculous sweater. And look, I made a sweater at all. Aren't you proud of me?
I have one accusation
Uh-huh.
I can show. This is from Potion Yarns, Luck of the Irish.
I saw that. It's stunning, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
She released it for St. Patty's Day. Absolutely gorgeous. And I got it on sale because she has a new rewards program. If you sign up, every time you buy from her, you get X amount of points and stuff like that towards, for discounts, which is really nice because she has raised her prices much like other designers or dyers have had to raise their prices. But this is the only one I got. Luck of the Irish, Potion Yarns. It's absolutely stunning. DK, wait, I can make the peacock.
Oh, that'd look great in it, actually. Yeah. I've ordered a few things, but they've not arrived yet. I've ordered Nitty McPurley's minis because I just think that is so... Have you seen it? Just the way she presented it just looked great. I've also ordered from Arcane Fiber Arts, who is a new one for me, but he's in Canada. He's a guy, and his yarns are amazing. And the good thing about him is he keeps out of everything. You know, he's like a neutral person. He's not interested either way, I don't think. And also, and the other one is I'm in a knit club with Euphoria Knits. So I'm waiting for her latest one to come.
Are you going to get the London Fog one?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I've gone for the 100 gram and the 4 minis for that.
I love that color.
Pretty.
Yeah, it's really cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
The other thing I've done as well is what I'm waiting for is I've ordered 10 dies, 10 Dharma dies, because I'm going to start dyeing. Not to sell. This isn't to sell, but I'm going to start making my own because a lot of the yarn ends up costing me twice as much just in shipping, and it's not really at the moment with the everybody. All our bills and everything going up, it's not very cost effective really. So I'm just going to have to learn how to make some nice colours for myself. So when they arrive, I'm going to show everyone the colour choices, and they'll probably be like, "Oh my god!" Yeah.
I make some 80s sweaters with that.
Yeah.
I've been kind of okay. So I've never dyed yarn before. And this past week, I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be great if I had a colorway exact like this? And then in my mind, I'm like, I would have to walk up to a dyer, and the dyer would be like, why don't you do it yourself, Anne, if it's so particular? Like, I don't know. That's why I'm coming to you.
Well, some of them will do it. Yeah.
Some of them will.
Yeah. Kia, I've forgotten the name of her.
Cedar Hills.
Yes.
Beautiful.
She did an amazing yarn for me once from a photograph. And she got it spot on as well. And I know a few other people. Oh, and Tina is working on the project with me at the moment as well. And she's dyeing something for some patterns that I'll be releasing a bit later on that I think all of you guys will probably end up knowing about. You'll all have some part to play in it, I think. And I'm quite excited to see what she comes up with. So I don't know when that'll be. She's doing it now, I think. Not this second, but... Yes, Tina, get on it. Come on. Work harder.
Yes, the laziest dyer in all existence.
Oh, by the way, if people aren't watching her videos, you should, because she does a video on a Wednesday, and I think the other one's on a Friday. And one of them is where she does this random roulette thing where the computer randomly picks 3 colours that she has in her dye pot stash, and then she has to make her rule is she has to make a yarn out of those 3 colors, whatever they are, and it's just really cool to watch. And then the other one is she just does they're only about 5 minutes long, so they're just easy things just to have on in the background. But yeah, sign up and watch them, they're good. I think they are anyway.
I've seen a couple of them. They're fun.
I think it's interesting that she shares how she colors yarn, how she dyes yarn, because a lot of dyers, they won't share their secrets or their
top secret.
Yeah, and she's like, I don't give a fuck.
What I want to know is, she dips her yarn into the jug. The water, is that hot water that she pours from the tap? Does anybody know? If you're watching out there, Tina, let me know. I need to know whether it's hot or cold water.
Tina, come back.
Oh, somebody's asked Tabitha a question.
Oh. She should sell that. I would buy some for hunting season. Fluorescent orange. Tina dyed her up some fluorescent orange and camouflage for hats.
Oh.
That was one of the first branded colorwork projects I did. It was a hat in camouflage and orange, and the sort of pattern had like little dots in it. So most of the pattern you couldn't see much of in the mess of it, but there would be like this bright splotch.
I made my husband a hat for hunting season. I had to reknit it because his head is grown, but it was 2 elks mating, and he would wear it hunting.
I've seen a Christmas hat like that. Is it the same one? Yeah. That's a very polite way of saying it.
He made the mistake and wore it to church one day, and the pastor about died. He was laughing so hard.
All okay?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Just they needed an adult, and I'm the adult in the house, so therefore,
I need an adult every now and again, but
Not one
well,
to be had.
usually my husband's usually here, but he's not right now, so they just needed someone. So sorry, guys.
Oh, Tabitha, I meant to tell you, there's a TV series that I've just watched, and all the way through I kept thinking about you. It's called Woman of the Dead, and it's an Austrian one. And what it is, so it's subtitled, and sadly, but it is brilliant. Oh, that's my doorbell. I'll be back in a minute. That's
There
not a good sign.
FBI.
How dare
FBI.
someone come to my door? Okay. How do I stop myself being...
No, I want to see the police.
Today is just a day, I guess.
I guess so. But
So,
anyways. Yeah, I have...
what did I miss? Anything fun?
Well,
I'll have to go back and rewatch. Okay, what do you have?
No, I was just going to say that, with my various Fair Isle mittens, even though I was sitting there, I'm like, it's a pain in the butt to have to look at it the entire time while you're knitting it, to follow the chart so closely. What's with that? But anyways, I have a couple of pattern ideas for stranded socks, except stranded color work doesn't really stretch. So I'm like, should I?
What for stranded what?
Socks.
Socks?
There's a designer that I follow on Ravelry, the dreaded Ravelry, that does stranded socks all the time, and nobody seems to have an issue with it.
Okay.
Maybe you could knit them inside out, so your floats are a little more looser.
Oh.
That way you're not, because I'd be afraid of pulling it super tight.
That's something I would have never thought of.
You're welcome.
Oh, there you go.
So
Just knit it
apparently people.
What?
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say people in the comments think that Neil is getting swatted and that I should let the state take care of my children. So.
Well, it was Amazon. So just make sure my address isn't on there. If you want to see what I've got, it is knitting related. It's kind of. Can anybody guess what that is?
I can't tell. Are they needles?
Mm-mm.
Like cable needles or
No.
Oh, is that the things that, because you're going to start dyeing? Is that what those are from?
Yes.
Okay.
I asked about stainless steel spoon things and whether they were
That
safe.
was fast. You
Yeah.
just asked about that today?
Yeah. So basically, they're tiny little spoons, which are all different sizes to help.
Are you really
with,
starting to dye?
Not to sell, Just for me, because I was just saying,
Because you want
while you were dealing with your emergency, I was just saying how when I order yarn, it's costing me twice, for the shipping. So I'm just going to have to tighten the belt a bit and start learning how to make some of the cool colors. So basically, I'm going to be looking at people's colors and stealing them, but I'm not going to be selling them. So it's just for me. But in my defense, I did say to all our dyer friends that they should start selling their recipes for colors, and I will buy them if you write them.
Sorry, Joe says,
Interesting.
welcome to Neil's Coke House. That's why I was thinking, remember what? Don't do crap.
I wasn't gonna say mess spoons, but I thought it.
Yeah, I am. What was he
Right.
called? Walter White. Is it Walter White?
Once again, I don't know. Hey, so I finished my ribbing on my project I was working on, and then I need the color work chart, so I started scanning up this colorway from Chicken Lady, because guess what I'm gonna start making?
Is it tinfoil hat?
It is.
Oh, of course.
Tabitha knows what's up. The rest of you are just looking at me like I don't know what you're talking
I'm gonna
about.
need that pattern.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a lot of people are gonna be needing that pattern because
Yeah, me. I need it.
yeah. So
See, I know. I've been thinking of sparkle yarn because sparkle yarn is not something I normally do. I'm like, no, wait, it's so useful. And again, for this sock project, I'm like sparkly socks because a sparkly sweater is a bit much. But hat, socks.
What you could do, I don't know where you would get it in America, but I know Drops, they do the sparkle on its own. So it's like thread and you can knit it in with the project and it's different colors. I think they only do like gold, silver, red and green, I think it is. But you could just get that and it's quite cheap. I think it's only like, well, here, I think it's only a couple of quid.
How thick is it?
It's very fine. So it's like I suppose it's like lace weight, but maybe even thinner. Actually, I don't know.
Well, I mean, they make embroidery floss like that, and like on spools for embroidery machines. So if you wanted to make your own yarn sparkly, you could do it.
Although I did see on Naughty Knitwits that Michelle said she tried it, I think, and didn't like it. She said it didn't kind of blend in with the yarn like the one that's prepared already does.
Right.
Well, you could buy the embroidery and then hold it with your other yarn and wind it so it's together already, so you're not picking it up. I mean, it wouldn't be like it wouldn't be interwoven, whatever.
But you could spin it on your wheel, and you could spin them together, and then
because I have so much time.
Dude, you're the one who makes all these crazy projects for yourself. I'm just taking a page out of your book.
Like, no, wait, make it more insane. And I'm like, yeah, that is what I do.
That is what you do. It's not.
It's
like, I still want that pattern, Anne, where...
No. Sorry.
I still want that pattern that somebody accused you of making, which said something, what was it now? Just had a random right-wing statement or something. Do you remember?
Slogan. I'm like, wow, what a great scarf.
I want that. I want that.
What was it? I missed it.
No, that if you had a scarf that just said right-wing slogan on it.
Yeah, because that's what they accused. I don't know whether they accused you specifically, Anne, but I think they were accusing us generally of just doing that,
Right.
So it's like, well, do it. Let's do it.
I mean, I do that. I won't lie.
Slogan scarf. No, but I'm thinking with, not to give away all my secrets, I'm sure somebody can run out and make this pattern first, and it's all right. I'm lazy. I understand. But how Posey Parker has the women's rights scarves and those big stripes. So if you have a big striped scarf like that and then have right-wing slogan down it in black, like it's a soccer scarf, that'd be pretty funny.
Yeah. Hey, so you guys are the perfect group to talk about. I sent Anne something on Instagram, which she did not respond to in text or on Instagram. But, I said to Anne, there are these accounts that are all cray-cray, and they're like making giant crochet murals and stuff. And I want to know what giant installation knit project we could do for like, like pro-life with like a baby a baby in the womb, or I don't know, something. I said, they got all these crazy things that they do. Like, why can't we do something?
I'm up for that.
The thing I sent her was actually these women who had quilted "fuck this shit." That's what the quilt was. Why don't we do that? I mean,
I actually would like a knitted blanket that said "fuck this shit."
Well, can I just say, I have literally, again, I think I'm tuned into everything today. I think I've literally just done one of my dissidents, and it's the first one that is not child friendly, and I think you might like it, Tabitha.
Well,
but I think that we should do some sort of pro-life, anti-trans, something. I don't know, the Deathly Hallows thing. I don't care. Something. I think we should do a giant mural of it and put it up somewhere. Anne's
Well, we
just,
could
like,
do.
looking at me like, what the-
Yeah, you could have like the icons you have outside the toilets, male and female. You could do that as a chart. So that's your two genders thing. You could have the baby in utero symbol. And all of the things on All Lives Matter thing we could have on there as well. All of those things could be on, couldn't they?
while we're at it, I was going full Alex Jones like this past week, because weird and creepy news stories, and you stick them all together, and you're like, oh crap! Like, no, but it's just, yeah, tinfoil hat, yeah. But just like, I'm out here living my life, everything's normal, and I'm like, there's a lot of really weird stories lately that apparently think that personal autonomy and your own, quote, reproductive rights end when you reach a certain, like, brain dead level or you die. And that may seem like, what are you talking about, Anne? Now, there's this weird story about this past week. Woman is engaged, her fiance dies, but it's okay. She's still gonna have his baby.
How?
She found a doctor who would harvest sperm from him. And it's like,
See, I don't.
Was this American?
not sure.
Because there was a case in Britain and they refused. They'd already stored his sperm while he was alive, and she wanted to be impregnated, and the court said no.
That's different, I would say. That's what I was going to say, is if they had, like, been planning to have a kid and he passed and they had known they were going to do, like, IVF, then I could see that. But just harvesting it from his carcass is kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm like,
Damn it.
I'm just saying that there's a lot of morally, like, and also, again, you have that story, which is weird, which is, children without the dude's consent. I think I saw it in the Federalist. The Federalist mentions that you're purposely having a fatherless kid. You have, just what does that do to the child? I mean, David Copperfield opens with him being a, quote, posthumous baby that his dad died when his mom was pregnant. Fictional example, but that would have an effect on a person. All of this kind of stuff going on, but it's like, this is, it's like,
so does the sperm still live in a dead body for longer?
It can.
How can they do it?
I don't know.
Well,
It would have
so
to happen pretty
sperm
quickly,
can
wouldn't
live. Sperm can live outside of the ball sack for 5 days in a warm, moist environment. So if you need to know about fertility and how you get pregnant, sperm can live for up to 5 days in your vagina.
Don't you think it's amazing that only men can create life? Independently.
Wow.
That can live for 5 days.
Hang on. Okay, so
You're not going to live for 5 days after this. I don't think we're saying that, but
okay, so creepy story of the dead. There's another one. Okay.
oh god.
Yeah. So these are little older ones, which I had heard about, but like, you hear some creepy stories you just hear and they go on by, and then you're like, hang on, these are stacking. And that it's like, oh, well, it was that, that it's organ donor, basically. A woman has died, and we're going to put her uterus into a trans woman. And I'm
I
like,
saw that.
mm, mm,
No.
mm.
Also though, I gotta say,
I'm going to take off organ donor on my license plate or my ID card right now.
Yeah,
I've never had it on, and I have reasons for it. But,
Yeah, when you
we're
die,
not
your
getting into that
uterus
now.
needs a break, Tabitha, doesn't it?
But Tabitha,
It's worked hard, hasn't it, over those years?
as a woman, Tabitha, that has given birth and been pregnant, can you imagine how painful it would be to have surgery to have a uterus implanted, and then like have to worry about rejection, and then also be pregnant, and then I think they have to have the uterus removed afterwards? Like, can you just
So it
talk
can only
about
be
agony?
used once.
I don't know. That's what I had heard.
And okay, also, the hormones don't work. They just don't.
Just salt, no vinegar.
No vinegar.
Oh my God.
Oh, but okay.
So-
Also, okay. Again, down the.
Oh yeah,
Of
I didn't even think about this. There's no vagina, so then they would have to have surgery to have the kid taken out, and then why would you sign up for that? I mean,
Can't they just do it
I
the old
understand-
way? It seems a bit easier, doesn't it?
well,
Oh,
it's
but
because
also-
it's a trans dude.
Also, hang on. We have the third evil of today,
Oh God, what?
which is yeah. So you see how all of these violate personal autonomy, your own body. And again, for people who talk about reproductive rights, this is kind of like important. Anyways, that it's like your own determination of your future and your family unit and everything such as that. Okay, so all of that. They're also talking about, hey, wouldn't it be great so if like a woman is brain dead, she could be a surrogate?
Oh, geez.
Yes, I've heard that one too.
And I'm sitting there
yes,
like,
Tabitha.
I was a surrogate. I can speak on this. But go on, Anne.
no, I know, but I'm sitting there, it's like, oh, and as far as we're going down this happy trail, how much farther from brain dead do we have to get to lobotomized? Because I'm freaking out. I'm having a bad day in sci-fi world of babies, a place I never thought we'd actually be at.
Yeah, so what's going to happen is biological women will all be brain dead and just be having babies, and the women plus or women minus, whichever way you want to look at it, will all be running around, with those babies, presumably.
Well, people talk about, how birth control, changed sexual dynamics between men and women and sort of removed babies from sex. It's like just remove sex from babies. Like it doesn't have to be connected. It's very bad.
Sorry, Anne.
Sorry.
People keep writing funny things. The thing is, what Emily's put here is, it's true. You know they've done it. I bet it's already on Instagram or Twitter. I bet it's already on there.
Because that is hilarious. And anyway, but Tabitha,
Yes,
I'd
Lisa.
like to know.
Woman plus is plus penis. Yes.
Yes.
I do not have a penis in my freezer.
Are you sure? Are you sure that that's
The rest of the
squirrel tail
body,
is a
yes.
code for
Just
something
no
else?
penis.
She'd never lose her key. Okay, so
I'm thinking about that one.
I do have a cow tongue and a pig
A
tail.
cow
what's
tongue.
happening at your house?
We had a cow butchered. And so when we get an animal butchered, we get all of the animal, like not the penis.
So anyway,
I'm sorry, Anne.
That anyway. full levity in our happy shop of horrors. But you said you were a surrogate, which, you know, is valuable life experience for this particular conversation.
Anyways, I was a surrogate. I believe the child is like 9 or 10 now, and the culture around surrogacy was a lot different back then. Obviously, I had a baby for a couple who couldn't. They're lovely people. I'm still in their lives today, and it's kind of sad to see what surrogacy has turned into as to what it was even 9 years ago to now. Like, if I would never do it now, like, there's no way. The the left have just completely stolen it, and I did it very legitly. I mean, we had background checks and studies and health things, and now it's just like anybody. And I mean, yes, you pay for a surrogate, you know, but now it's like they'll just take anybody. They don't, and they expect it now. It's, you know, not like I'm giving up 9 months of my life and my health. I mean, your health is at risk having a baby, and you're doing this for basically strangers. Yeah, I knew them. But now it's just bastardized completely, the whole process. And even now, religiously, I don't agree with it, but I still view it as, you know, I mean, God let, what's her name? This is how good of a Christian I am. I don't even remember the story, but God had somebody else carry the child. They gave birth to the child for said couple. So there's history. There's, you know, history of stuff like this happening years and years. Yeah, they did the old-fashioned way. They didn't, you know, do it the proper way.
Are you talking with like Ishmael and Abraham and
maybe?
No.
Well,
But no, because that wasn't. He took another wife and had Ishmael. That was different.
Yeah.
But God still gave, okay, you take this lady as your mistress to have a baby because you're not going to have a baby with her. And then later on, she got pregnant.
Sarah told Abraham to do that. I don't think.
Oh,
God
well.
Do.
Shows how much I know my Bible.
Well, I
Sarah
think
and the Handmaiden.
Sarah kind of taking the reins there, and God's like, guys.
This is like Star Wars to me. I'm waiting for Darth Vader to come in any minute.
So, Tabatha, I tried to be a surrogate after I had my second child because I was really good at being pregnant. I was one of those people where, like, yeah, I had morning sickness and stuff, but other than that, like, it wasn't a big deal for me. And I'm like, I would love to do it for somebody else because I know so many people can't. And so because I live in New York, I don't live, if I had lived like 20 minutes closer to the Pennsylvania border, I could have done it because New York doesn't let you, but if I could have given birth in Pennsylvania, I could have done it. But there were questions on that questionnaire that made me really think that I probably, like, if somebody had chosen me, I would have had to be like super picky, like, you know, would you abort multiples and stuff like that? Did you have to go through all that too?
Yeah, I had a questionnaire, and you're matched off of the agency that I went through. You are matched from surrogate to intended parents are matched off those questionnaires. So that way there wouldn't be a conflict of interest down the road.
Yeah.
You know, of like, I agree to this, but I don't agree to that, or I agree to this, or I don't agree to that. Oregon is kind of a gray area for surrogates. It's like not against the law, but it's not, you know, it's like, well, we really don't care. But the parents at the time lived in New York City. And so, but it goes off of where the surrogate lives and the laws that they have there. So,
yeah. No, that's
well,
crazy,
they couldn't have found somebody further away, really, could they?
Oh my gosh. You should have seen my husband and I walk through JFK. Because we
Oh.
flew in from Portland to JFK, and the clinic that we did this out of, and the agency was in New Jersey. And so we flew over there, and we met them. They're lovely people. And it was just like, could you have picked, you know, these are cultured, sophisticated New Yorkers, international people. I mean, you know, and then you get some two rednecks from Oregon. It was, and then the funniest thing was that when I gave birth, I really wanted to give birth. I didn't want to be induced. I went into it naturally. They came out here and stayed in my hometown for a month, and we all just kind of hung out waiting for me to give birth. And then after, it was right before I went into labor, they came out to my in-laws for dinner, and they hung out with the family. It was really, really, it was an amazing experience. But
Was it like the Beverly Hillbillies?
Oh yes. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Wow.
But.
You should write about that. You should write about that as a book, you know.
One of the parents came into town for an ultrasound, and he's from England, and so he has a very nice accent. And the guy doing the ultrasound did my same ultrasound when I was pregnant with Chesney when I was 17. And he thought this guy was like my husband. And I'm like this, I'm in like camouflage and I, speak the way I do. And the parent that came with me is like in a business suit and from England. And I'm like, really? No.
Okay. Well, they do say opposites attract. So I guess anything's possible, right? Like,
Yeah. So.
That's funny.
Oh, speaking, you mentioned abortion before. There's, I don't know if you saw it, but I'm not going to say who it is, but a certain person posted about puppies, and that they were really upset because somebody was going to kill some puppies because they had a tail when they were a breed that didn't have a tail, and they were all up in arms about it. And the same people are people that are fully behind abortion, and I kind of thought, no. Both are bad. There's no, you don't kill puppies and don't kill babies. I don't understand how you could put the puppies ahead of babies.
Right.
They're both babies in a way, aren't they?
And first off, I thought you said poppies, so I was super confused. But now that we're on the same page, I also saw that, and I don't understand how these people who are so like, rah rah, kill your babies, are also like, oh no, it's the puppies. Like,
yeah. I just couldn't get that.
How in your brain do you reconcile that? Because I don't.
I could understand somebody believing both, have the right to kill both, or believing neither should be killed. I get that, but I don't understand how one is okay and the other isn't.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, even Tabatha wouldn't kill puppies, I hope.
She's like, well,
so, okay, well,
depends on the tail.
Well, no. I used to foster animals, and we would get dogs in from like one of the dogs that I ended up having till she died was a pit bull. She was 9 years old, and we got her from a puppy mill. And when we went in to spade her, she had puppies, and of course those puppies were killed. You cannot. They didn't know she was pregnant when they brought her in, but there's no way you cannot. I mean, the puppies weren't killed because they had bad tails. They were going in to take everything out to spay her, and there were puppies there. So
sad.
It is.
Here, same idea. Stray dog, we took it to be spayed, and it was pregnant.
Wow.
And then an abortion person hated it. Yeah, that's the thing I don't get. How can you be like, oh no, puppies, and not, oh no, babies?
Yeah.
Like, if anything has more of a right, I would think it would be a baby.
Yeah,
I've got a good friend who's like that.
We choose humans over animals all day long. So,
yeah, I've got a friend who is the opposite. She's got she doesn't care about humans at all, so she says. But anything to do with animals, and she's crying and whatever, and she won't watch a film. There's a website that she looks at before she'll watch a film, and I think it's called "Does the Dog Die?" I think. Have you ever heard of it? And it's where they list every film, and it tells you whether there's an animal in it and whether the animal dies in the film, so you know whether to watch it or not. But
That's
she'd probably
ridiculous.
be quite happy to watch, people being murdered and anything else,
Well, I mean, say, but
So
Never bothered me before.
I would use that site, but only for my
For the kids. Yeah.
Because I think Anne and I, years ago, I think it was when we were new in podcasting, I put on Homeward Bound for them. And at one point my kids come in like bawling because they thought one of the animals had died. And so I get that for like the kids, like, yes, I don't want, especially if I'm not there, because if I'm there, it's different. But also I put the movie on and I said, I gotta go do something. You guys watch this movie. And then they were like traumatized. Do you remember that, Anne, or no? It was a long time ago. It was like way back in the beginning.
Did I ever tell you my teaching story where I did
No.
something where it was one of them where I just couldn't be bothered planning a lesson? So I thought, oh, right, I'll just play them an animation. And I can't remember what it was now, but there was some reason why it was about dogs. It had a link to a lesson from a previous week. And I just found this animation that was about 20 minutes long, which was perfect for the length of the class. And I didn't watch it all. I just started watching the beginning. And I just thought, oh, this will do. And anyway, I started playing it. And these teenagers were, shall we say, emotionally challenged, if that's the right word. Anyway, the story is this poor dog is trying to get help because the puppies are dying and nobody will come and help her. And she's barking all the time. And basically, the end of it, all of them die. And the dog died, the mother. And at the end of it, this kid, he just got up because it was the break time after. And he just went, that was miserable. And just walked out. And they all just walked out in silence, like traumatized forever.
I don't know why you don't teach anymore, Neil.
Clearly. Okay.
Oh, man. No, that happens to the best of us. I totally thought that Homeward Bound would be sweet and awesome, and then they were crying, so it's hard to say.
Well, they've got to learn to be sad at some point.
Something. Okay, so this is totally off whatever, but so in my X-Men movie marathon, we finally got to Logan. You've seen this movie, right, Neil?
Yeah, I have.
What a crappy film! So upset, and people are like, "Oh, it's the best of them. It's so clever." And
is it the one where he's in Japan, or is it the one where he's an old man?
it's the one where he's an old man in Japan.
Right.
Random adventures with Wolverine. Pretty funny.
Yeah, it's very depressing, isn't it, Logan?
No, but here's the okay. So, Dark Phoenix was a crap film. Okay, it was so bad, but at the same time, at least you're like, dude. Or also the one before, X-Men Apocalypse. You're sitting there and you're like, you just broke your entire world. Like everybody in the world had Professor X's voice in their head, and then you gave Magneto more powers, and he almost broke the entire planet. This is ridiculous. Where's your sense of scale? What's going on here? And you're like, this is stupid. Logan breaks the world because, okay, spoilers here. Logan breaks the world because apparently the only two mutants left are Professor X, who is old and crazy and gives everyone seizures, and Logan, who is physically breaking down. Like this, and it's like, oh, and by the way, there's the whole subplot with these children who have mutant powers because they were grown in a lab, as the subject goes. And also, there happens to be no more mutants naturally born anymore because of what they put in the food. And I'm like, what the crap? Like, what is... It's like, talk about breaking... You watch an X-Men movie and you're like, oh yeah, it's happy fun times. We're going to save the day through the power of friendship and our superpowers. And these claws I happen to have. And it's going to be fun. And then it's like, there's no more mutants. We're all dead. There's just these feral children. We haven't explained what happens to all these characters. Are these kids going to be mentored by any of the mutants who we don't know what happens to them? No. Apparently they're all dead. That's it. This is over, kids. I'm just like, this is literally demoralizing. This is literally, that's what you do in wartime. You demoralize your opponents. Like, remember, people, when there used to be hope for the future? Not that. It's like, our favorite character, Wolverine, sold so much cereal. He's dead now. Like,
well, isn't that the one where he finds out he's got some clone daughter or something? I can't remember exactly, but there's a girl in it, isn't there, with claws? Yep. And it's like, how did that happen?
Yeah. But all that, I'm like, what a miserable film. And it's like the third time where they've been like, oh, hi, we're superheroes. This nice little family in the country is going to come in and let us have dinner with them. And they all die afterwards. The first time I could be like, oh, man, that's sad. After the third or fourth time, I'm like, buddy, I'm angry. And stop killing civilians. I'm really happy.
Selfish Knitters just said that was a fantastic summary. So nobody needs to watch that movie now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never was gonna, so I guess we're good.
Yeah. No, I have actually had people tell me that this is the best of any of them. And I'm like, what?
Well, I
Melissa
think
Kay
that
says it was one of the best in the series.
Sorry. No.
yeah,
Sorry.
I didn't like any of them. Well, I did, but they're not as good as the comics, or as the comics used to be that they were based on, because a lot of the stories are based on stories. A lot of the movie stories are based on comic stories from the 80s.
Mhm.
You know, when I was reading the comics, so obviously that's when it was the best because I was reading them. But yeah, the guy that was behind most of those storylines is a guy called John Byrne, and the comic world now won't have anything to do with him pretty much. They kind of just shun him. But nearly all of the stories that are on movies now were his idea. You know, he was behind them all.
Was he like particularly canceled for something, or?
Well, apparently he's just a bit of a grumpy. He has arguments with everybody who he's ever worked with. So he's always been kind of like bouncing between Marvel and DC as a writer and an artist because he keeps falling out with them. And then he fell out with everyone. And then he ended up working for Dark Horse and fell out with them. And now he does it for IDW, I think they're called. And now he just does his own thing because nobody will hire him anymore because I think he's just difficult to work with. But he was a writing and an artistic genius in his day. I mean, he's done some real shit as well. But he was the one that revamped Superman in 1986.
Okay.
I don't know whether you're probably all too young for that, but Superman was completely started again from scratch, and he was the one that was behind that.
Wow.
But he was the one that came up with the Dark Phoenix storyline and all of that as well back in the 80s.
Okay.
Anyway,
again,
bored everyone stays.
From someone who, again, I've only seen the movie. I get it. Not a real thing. I understand. But it's like, I was so upset about that movie because I'm like, you broke your time. You went back in time to fix all of the problems from the Dark Phoenix storyline in X-Men 3. And then you're like, hey, you know how we fix it through these progressively crappier movies? We're going to do it all again in the even crappier film.
Well, somebody made a good point about the Superman movie, the first one with Christopher Reeve, where the Margot Kiddo, Lois Lane character dies. Margot Kiddo? I can't remember her name. Anyway, he goes around the earth, doesn't he, and sets time to go backwards to save her life. And someone said, and you didn't think to stop the Nazis killing the Jews? You know, you could have just gone back a little bit further and just helped them out a little bit. Exactly. But no, he just did it for her.
You could have prevented. But okay, just Lois Lane. All right.
Well, there's a really.
I'm going to argue with Lisa. I'm sorry, Lisa. I don't mean to be belligerent, but I'm arguing with you because it did not end on a note of hope. Because it ended like The Force Awakens when they're like, Rey already knows everything. She doesn't need to read She doesn't need to read the Jedi books. She's just naturally brilliant. These kids had no mentor. And the only thing that they could say at Wolverine's funeral was like a weird line that she had grabbed from a Western. She had no scripture. She had no nothing except for that. And it was like a build-up that only makes sense if you had seen a different movie than the movie you were currently watching. And in addition to that, it is woke crap because the government wins and the feds win. Okay? No. That is it's like there's no hope in your universe and you're supposed to roll over and die because the government's defeated mutants by a combination of dark ops and food. That's not a good ending.
It sounds like what's happening in real life. What the plan's going to be. Oh, speaking of real life, I just want to ask something about America. How many of those train crashes have there been where there's been radioactive stuff? Because I heard there's been another one this week. Is that true?
Maybe. There's been a lot of them. I don't even know anymore.
There has been a lot more suspicious trains showing up on tracks that have not been in use in a long time, especially where I live. And my husband and I went to Roseburg a couple of weekends ago to do our big monthly Costco haul, and we drive by the old highway that has train tracks, and they're never in use, or they only store, go push lumber. And there was oil for those black, just sitting there, not hooked up to anything. not just a couple like oil tankers that I have not seen them in all the years that we've, and it was very suspicious. And I've heard that there's been those tankers being pushed down on California's border where the almond farms are, where they grow the almonds from the almond milk and stuff, and that they're just like sitting there and they're loaded, they're full. So get that tinfoil hat out.
I guess I better get working on this pretty soon. I mean, holy crap.
Speaking of Alex Jones,
Hey,
which was a bit earlier, we did mention Alex Jones earlier, and
know.
it was you, DK. You did.
I don't even watch Alex Jones. That was Anne.
Oh, was it Anne? Sorry.
I've been. Have you heard the Alex Jones folk song where they take words that he has said and they make a nice little tune about it? I've had that going in my head because part of Alex Jones' rant, that Alex Jones's rant. There we go. I got my and that is that they're growing babies to grow body parts, and we're just like, I'm going home now. And also, Lisa, yes, agree to disagree, and comic is probably amazing.
Yes.
Anyway, Alex Jones, I will say this.
Yes.
You know, he's being sued, or he has been sued by the Sandy Hook families, and he has to pay £17 trillion or whatever it is back. I can't remember what the amount is, but it's something ridiculous, isn't it? They've actually been debating whether his cat is part of that deal. So whether he has to give his cat away.
Yeah.
For real.
Well, I don't know how true it is. He's saying that. I don't know whether it's true, though.
Well, if it's a rare cat,
it is.
They could take it and liquidate it for assets.
Yeah, it was
wow.
$1,000 cat.
It's a what?
It's like
it was like $1,000 cat or something like that.
Yeah.
When Tiger King was getting sued by Carole Baskin.
It's a ragdoll.
Oh. Tiger King was getting sued by Carole Baskin. He one of the ways he was able to not pay her but make some payments is because he sold some of his assets. And she listed part of his assets that she wanted to get money, and she listed his big cats. So
wow.
You can sue for animals if they're valuable.
Yarn? So if we ever need to sue you, can we have your yarn?
No. It's worth 0.
All right, guys. We have been going on, and it's almost 4:30, which means this trad wife needs to go make dinner.
It's 8:30 here.
I love it how you say it. Yeah, 8:30. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you don't say that, do you? Well, you say a quarter
4:30.
past. No, what do you say? A quarter. How do you say 8:15?
8:15.
Or 8:45?
Quarter after 8.
Quarter after.
to
That's
9.
it.
You can.
You
You
say
can.
a
It's
quarter
not as
after.
But yeah, I gotta go make some supper because it's that time of night here. So thanks for coming, Tabatha. We've missed you.
Well, yeah, I make it great, huh?
You do though. You're hilarious.
No,
I'm glad you're back. Glad you're back.
I know way more
Thank you.
about skulls than I ever did. And Neil, it's a pleasure as always.
Thank you. Same.
And I have to have an article to you by tomorrow, right? If I want it in this magazine.
Yeah, you've only had a year, DK.
I don't know what you're talking about.
In fact, I think it's longer than a year.
Whatever.
This
All
article is going to be the best article in all history of articles.
Oh,
She
jeez,
spent a
I'm not
year
writing
writing
one
it.
now. Forget it. No, I haven't started it yet. Oh, God.
I'm sure we might be able to squeeze it in. As long as you can do it in the next few days, I'm sure we'd squeeze it in.
All right. So,
She's thinking, shit, why did I say that?
no, I say stuff publicly because then it's accountability. It's like when you announced you were going to start Blocked on our channel.
I know. Why did I say that?
Exactly. So, all right, guys. Thanks for everything. Thanks for joining us, commenters and friends, and we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Baby, I can't end it.